Hey Hodies, welcome back to my channel. My name is hautemesstom and thank you so much for clicking on today's video. Today we're going to be doing a let's play with makeup. I guess the highlight of playing with makeup today is the solo shadow from Merit, which I did receive in PR, and then I have some other things, new, old, things with pan in it, it just kind of runs the gamut of my makeup collection. If you are new to my channel, hi, welcome. My channel is mostly focused on loving my makeup collection as it is first and foremost, while being critical and a little bit cynical about new makeup releases. But I also believe that you're allowed to navigate the makeup space however you'd like. So if you are a collector, you can buy the makeup. But what I really focus on is I try to rein myself in because that's what I want. That's my desire. And so that's what I do here. So if that content sounds good to you, I'd love to have you subscribe. Make sure you like the video. I'm also on patreon.com if you would like to support me there. There's no pressure to. If you don't have the means to or you don't want to, you don't have to, but you can. There's additional content over there. This Saturday, we're going to be doing a live stream for the first time. It's gonna be like a lunchtime live stream. Also on my Patreon, the podcast I do with Kackie exists. Speaking of podcasts, before we get too far into this, today, either the day you're watching this or the day before, I don't know how, I kind of messed myself up editing and recording this week, so I don't know what dates is going to go live. This is why things got messed up. My best friend and my roommate Tiffany and I have podcasted with each other for a very long time, but we took a hiatus from podcasting. We at one point had 2 podcasts and now we have none, but now we have one again. So our podcast called Recollect is coming back. It's already back. There's an episode out as I record it, but it's actually an episode that we recorded last year, but we recorded a new episode which should be out either today or yesterday. So what we do on Recollect, if you've never tried it out, Recollect is a music podcast. What we do is we look at the Billboard Hot 100 or just compilations, lists of music, and we talk about the top 10 songs of that list. We give you a brief history. We talk about where we were at in our lives when these songs came out, the importance of them to us, and then we say whether or not they are a bop or a stop. And it's really fun. We have so much fun recording it. So I'd love for you to go check that out. It's on Spotify only because that's the only way that we are able to use the music legally. And you can choose to listen to the whole song. You don't have to. If you ever click on an episode and you're like, that seems really long, it's long because the runtime also accounts for the entirety of all of the songs. We also, at the end of the episode, recommend some songs that we've been listening to. So just go check it out if you'd like. No pressure to, but if you're like into music, you want to learn more about music. And when I say we don't like dig so deep into the research, but it's just like mostly for fun. Like the surface level stuff you would want to know about these songs and these music artists. Anyway, go check that out. Let's get into the look. We're gonna start with complexion today, which I don't normally do, but the solo shadow, I mean, it's not too high maintenance. We are probably gonna throw some shimmer on it, but we're not gonna do too much. We're not gonna do too much. All right. So I'm a little bit tired today. I'm a little bit overwhelmed. The last video I posted was the one about shame, and that has been very interesting to see everyone's response. And I've received a lot of positive feedback, and I've also received a little bit of pushback, and I also have received, I think there are conversations that seem to be being had in the comment section. And I normally really try to interact with every single comment I get because I'm still at a size where I can typically do that. But a lot of the responses were really emotional. But something I do want to acknowledge, because it kind of came up a couple of times in my comment section, was about how makeup collecting is seen as like frivolous because it is feminine. I wasn't trying to say to anyone that I was doing the right thing by making the choice or feeling the way I do. My goal was to share my feelings, to build community with people who felt similarly. I think there's a place for both. I have the money and I don't care that the makeup expires and I want to buy it. You can do that. You do that. I don't think there's a wrong way. And I wasn't trying to shame anyone who doesn't feel shame for not wanting to navigate the space that I do. It's also been said in the comment section, it's like, there's no perfect way to navigate this. And I agree, right? Even if you're trying to change your ways, the video wasn't supposed to be about waste and the impact on the environment, but that got brought up a couple of times in the comment section. So I was just really excited to see that, the conversation's happening. But I do want to apologize if anyone felt like I was saying that this was I was coming for it because it was a women's collector's game. If I would have found myself in any other kind of collector mentality and going in depth for it, I'm sure I would have come to the same conclusion. Makeup just happens to be the one that I went on a journey with. And so that's why I was sharing my story. But yeah, it's really great comments. If I didn't respond to your comment, I just kind of reached my mental limit as far as being able to interact with those. The whole reason I made it is just like, I know I feel alone sometimes in the shame that I sometimes feel. This is the Merit Perfecting Complexion Stick. I'm so close. That's it. Do you see that? That's it. We might get really close today. I use a lot of product when I apply with a brush. I'm not trying to use a lot of product. It's just something I've noticed. I've been liking applying it with a brush, and I'm not using it because it's a Merit product. This isn't supposed to be like some kind of Merit video. I did receive the Solo Shadow in PR. I'm not required to post about it. Probably will go back and like answer or talk a little bit more, you know, respond to a few more. It was like emotionally hard to make. I tried to make it a couple of times, and I felt like every time I did it, it felt like imperfect. And then I realized that it's just going to feel imperfect because there was I've tried to film it a couple of times, not all in that day, but I've tried to film it before and I've scrapped all of my other attempts at having that conversation because the previous conversations, the previous ways I recorded it, I was definitely coming off in a way where I was feeling judgy. And I know that's in my heart, that's like not how I feel. That's why I, you know, prefaced the video by saying like, if you feel any judgment coming from me, it's not at you, it's me having judgment from myself. And this is the cycle. But, you know, like I said, there's no wrong way to navigate this space. Just navigate it as responsibly as you can, or whatever that looks like for you. I just don't want anyone to go into debt over makeup. That's all. I think that's like my be-all end-all. I don't want anyone to have that feeling. We're so close. That was that. Oh, also the primer I used was the redness corrector primer from Makeup Forever. I was looking through my drawer and I was like, what haven't I was trying to balance it. I was like, what haven't I used in a really long time and what have I used relatively recently? Because I have fallen into some favorites. I'm gonna do a little color correction on my neck. It's not the worst. It's not, I mean, it's certainly been worse. Oh my god. I'm feeling a little exhausted. Mercury's in retrograde, and as someone who is now very into astrology, I'm feeling tired. I don't know if that has anything to do with Mercury in retrograde or maybe just lack of taking care of myself. There's been a lot of big emotions in my life recently, and I'm not going to get into like the why of it all. And some of it's not mine, but I feel like I've been taking on a lot of big energy. Not all of it negative. I'm going to be using the Surreal Skin Concealer. And I think that's what it is. Now, some of that big emotion is my own. Just like Jules' hands are her own. Some of my emotions are my own. Some of what I'm taking on is my own. And again, I'm not going to get onto that here, but a surprising thing happened to me. And it's like not inherently negative, but that's the way that I want to take it. Like it doesn't feel like good. It's like it doesn't feel good. The feeling that I'm feeling. You know, Venus is in retrograde. And I guess when Venus is in retrograde, this is what I've been told, that, you know, people from your past come back. And it doesn't mean necessarily romantic relationships, like just relationships. And like I've had both a positive and an uncomfortable version of that happen on like the same day. So it's just like, it was like a very strange moment. Okay, I do have a new item. So I did talk in my last video, if you haven't watched it, I did talk about how I was gifted a Sephora Friends and Family 20% off coupon, and I did end up using it, but I didn't buy a whole brand's worth. I bought 2 things, and we're going to use one of them. This is the last entry into the cream contouring video. I'm just going to say it. I'm friends with Kackie. Kackie is friends with Hindash. I selfishly asked Kackie. I said, joke, and I meant it jokingly, but Kackie did actually ask. I said, ask Hindash when Carve is coming back into stock. People have asked me to use it in the video. Kackie did literally ask Hindash, and there doesn't seem to be a time frame on it, to my best knowledge. And that's hearsay. Like, that's like sort of from the horse's mouth, but not directly. And I don't expect everyone to know every single thing. Anyway, I think I'm just gonna focus on what I have. If it happens to come into stock before I'm done with the video, which I don't think it's going to take me really long to like share this information with you. Like I kind of know how I'm feeling already. But anyway, this is the last entry. This is the Danessa Myricks Vision Flush in Nutcracker, which 2 people asked me to review. And I thought, I really don't like the balm. I thought this might be a good option because there are some other products in my cream contour video that are not specifically contour products that I'm using as contour products, and I am enjoying them. So I thought, why not see if Danessa can do me right? So this is the shade, I think I said the shade Nutcracker. It's the shade Nutcracker. I'm not really sure why this was recommended to me. I feel like someone's punking me. So that's it. And I think at first glance, outside of the container with the silver, and I think the silver is making it look more cool tone than it is, but that is simply brown. And then I swatched it the other day whenever I got it, and I don't know if you can tell. I think you'll see it more in the dry down. The first ingredient in the literal first ingredient in this product is mica. And I'm thinking that that's not going to be a great contour. So I'm going to try to use it today as a contour. I think if anything in the contour realm, it's going to be a bronzer, like a bronzer, but I don't know that it's even a bronzer because it's brown. It has an interesting scent. I'm not going to draw this on my face, which is like when I first saw it, I was like, that's what I'll probably do. I'm not going to do that. That feels like a big yikes mistake to me. I'm going to take a brush. I'm going to take some on a brush and I'm going to, put it where I contour because, that's what we bought it for the contour video. We're going to try to use it as a contour, but I don't know. Let's see. Sometimes blending it out changes the game. I'm not so sure that that's going to be my experience. Okay. Let's see. Really hope what happened with the Oma doesn't happen with this and just go everywhere. Okay, well, good news for me because I didn't even think about it. It didn't dry down and get patchy and weird, so that's great. I didn't feel like I was on a timer. That's good because with liquid, any kind of liquid product, you never know if it's gonna dry right where you apply it, and it didn't do that, which we're looking good. Okay. What am I doing? Now that's on my skin, now that I have it on, I don't know. I don't know if I'm getting contour from it. Did sculpt. It's a sculpt. Again, and you can do that with bronzer. You can do, I think that I'm very much looking for something much more cool toned than this because this is like simply brown. But I do think if I had taken the wand and applied it that way, that would have gotten me into so much trouble. But this looks nice. I'm not gonna lie. So maybe the people who recommended to me are not absolutely bananas. And it blended out really nice. I think the mica's tricking me. I don't know that it blended out all the way. Maybe it did. But I do think that the mica is helping it. If I didn't blend it very well, or if it didn't blend very well, it's doing me some favors with the little of it's like a shimmer. Yeah, there's like a shimmer. I don't know if you can see the sparkles on my hand from the remnants. Maybe not. I don't hate it, which I was kind of expecting to hate it. So that's a win. It's certainly not as bad as the contour balm. My instinct so far is to be like, this is not the move for someone who's looking to get into contour. This doesn't feel very like beginner friendly because I think a beginner would probably have just taken the doe foot and applied it directly to their face, and that might work. And like, I'm gonna test that on my own time, but not on camera. I don't want my camera, like, I'm okay if I'm testing something for something to go awry. I am seeing a friend after I film this, so, which is why I'm unsure of whether or not, like, I don't know how long we're hanging out, so I don't know if I'm gonna have time to edit this video. Also, Tiffany's birthday is tomorrow, the day of the launch, so if you are watching this video, say happy birthday to Tiffany in the comments, and as a gift to them, listen to Recollect. Okay, I don't hate that. But whenever I first watched it, it was very scary. It's very daunting because it's brown. I'm thinking that the shimmer in it also makes it lean a little more cool because the sparkles in it aren't, they're kind of, I don't know, I would say holographic. Like they're sparkling back everything. So maybe that's also making it look a little more cool toned. Do I have any other creams for my cheek? No. So I'm going to powder. My usual powders, but if you happen to be new here, which many of you subscribed from the last video, so hi. We're real chill like this most of the time. I mean, as chill as I can be. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Brightening Flawless Airbrush whatever. My friend Stephanie, she's the style stumbler on here. If you're someone who both came here from that video, or if you've never watched Stephanie's content and you want more content where people are using the same stuff over and over again, Stephanie's going to be a great watch for you. She's doing a series on her channel called Panning for Gold, and she's going through everything in her collection, and she's looking to keep the absolute best and passing on the stuff that doesn't work out for her to friends and family. She's very talented. She might be my favorite YouTuber. She might be. I love her. She's so funny. I think everyone should watch her. She is so creative and talented. She like sometimes puts her own music into her videos, and she'll do like skits every now and then. Oh, and they're so funny. And the songs are funny. She's just really talented, and she deserves more accolades than she gets. So I'll link her channel down below. But Stephanie is a real one. Anyway, Charlotte Tilbury's names for products. I didn't fully flesh out my thought about Stephanie. What made me think of her is that Stephanie recently did a skit about Charlotte Tilbury naming beauty products in her most recent video at the time of me filming. So that's why it reminded me of her. Just wanted to like finish that thought out. We're even more pan. Will I finish a powder this year? We might. Onto the Chantecaille Perfect Blur powder. Somebody in my last video, and I figure I'll just answer this here, asked me if I would ever project pan. Now, I have tried project panning in the past, and it doesn't work for me. And I'll tell you why. I don't like feeling restricted about what I can and cannot use. I start panning stuff a little bit more fervently. Like I might try to actively pan something when I know I'm close. So a few months ago, I twisted this all the way up and I was like, I should make a concerted effort to use it up. Like it's almost gone. Like we're so close there. Like there's not that much left. I'm going to use it up. And so, there are some categories where I don't have a plethora of things. And there are also some categories where I have a lot of things. I like them all and I'm trying to use them up to get down to my favorite thing, but I like them all. So like for my primers, like I have my favorite is the Victoria Beckham, but I also have the Bobbi Brown Vitamin Enriched Face Base, and I like all of them, and I find use in all of them. But like I'm not trying to pan any of them other than the Victoria Beckham one is my oldest one, and it has a 6-month shelf life. So I've been using that more and more. But I think whenever I start feeling like I have to use something, it makes me like not want to use it at all. So it's something that I have to, if I am getting close to panning something, then I will. I don't think this is a problem. This is the pitfall that I fall into if I try project panning. And this is why I think everyone should navigate the beauty space and makeup world the way that works best for them. I will get too hyper focused on using the things that I'm trying to pan that I never use my other stuff too. I don't like that. I don't like that feeling for me. But I think it's really cool that there are people panning and doing a lot of stuff. There's obviously a lot of content surrounding that. This is the Tom Ford bronzer in Terra. It's been a while since I've used this, and I just want to use it. Well, I want to use it today because I'm almost done with that Surratt review, and I'm wondering if I want to keep this one. And it's not that it's a bad bronzer. I actually really like it, but it's just like I haven't used it in a while. But it's like, is it because it's not good, or it's like less good than the other things that I've been trying, or it's just because I've been so interested in the newer stuff that I've been trying? But as I'm applying it, I think it's fine. I don't think it's gonna go anywhere. Bronzer was something that I was really trying to keep smaller in my collection, and then I just tried a bunch of good ones recently, the Phytosurgeons ones. But then I also, the ones that I kept, the ones that I still have, the ones that I keep in my collection already, they're really good. And that's why I have them in the first place, Oh, wow. It's a really pretty bronzer. Okay, I think that hopefully you can see these, maybe. So in applying the bronzer over top of the contour, it agitated some of the mica in the Danessa Myricks product. Do you see those flecks of glitter? That's from the Danessa, like I don't have anything on my eyes, so it's not fallout from my eyes. That is from the Danessa Myricks product. That's not from anything else. So there's that. I just want to point that out. For my blush, I'm going to use the Kaleidos Dreamwalk, I think is the name of the shade. Mine didn't come with a sticker on the back. I don't know why, but mine didn't. But I need to remember it so I can explain it to you. I was gonna use Barba Papa. I was gonna use Barba Papa from Surratt, and then I was like, I have another cool toned pink blush. They're different. This one's matte, and then the Barba Papa shade has shimmer in it. And we're going to be doing a gray on the eyes today, so I did want to use a cool tone shade. But then I was like, let me bust out this, because I haven't used it in a while. All my returners, they know. I'm so into cool tones right now. And then for highlight today, I went to use this. This is from Pat McGrath. It's from the Skin Fetish Man. I remembered now. I mean, I had that whole video where I was like, I can't remember the name of this. This is the Skin Fetish. This is from the Skin Fetish, like, original, when it came in, like, the sequined packaging. And it's the Iridescent Pink 003. It's interesting because I kind of go in waves with this product. When I, like, sometimes I really love it. And so, not that I've never hated it, but I often forget about it. But I think it's actually a beautiful formula for a highlighter, especially for like something iridescent, because sometimes it goes like too much whenever you're doing iridescent, and this is just like a soft glow, and I appreciate that. So now we're gonna move on to eyes, and I actually haven't tried this product with eyeshadow primer, but I'm just gonna tell you that I have this, and it was the other thing I bought with the Danessa Myricks. I bought this. It was in stock. I bought it. And let me tell you how I'm feeling about it. I love it so far. A lot of eyeshadow primers work out very well for me, but this one feels different. It feels different. Now, I can't say that it like locks or like any better because I've had great success with the Too Faced Shadow Insurance. I had great success with the Blink Eye Base. I've had the, you know, the Air Atelier one, RIP to that brand. I had great success. So like eyeshadow primers typically work for me. The way that I test them the most is I will put on an eyeshadow and then work out on my Peloton for like 30 minutes and then see if my eyeshadow is creased at all. Most of the time, it holds up, especially if it's a matte or a satin. Glitters or like shimmers, something with like a thicker texture, I do need to apply glitter glue. The texture of this is delightful. This is, sorry, have I said what this is? This is the NARS Smudge Proof Eyeshadow Base. The texture is lovely. It's actually, it's like a lovely feel of a formula. It's like delicious. You know what I mean? It's like delicious. I wasn't expecting to like this as much as I did. I went, because every time I've tried an eyeshadow primer, I'm like, this is good, this is good, this is good, this is good. But I like, if it hits different, it's a little different. And I can't really explain it to you too much yet because, you know, I'm still early days in it with this. And I know I still have, I'm still planning on finishing up the Blink one, but I am like getting very close to being done with it. So I just wanted to try this. So I did open it, but it's never been in stock when I've been shopping. And I saw that it was in stock and I said, I am almost out of my old one, the Blink one. So there's that, you know, that's why I made that choice. I know I don't have to justify my reasoning with you, but I'm just being honest. Okay, we are to eyes. Now, okay, so let's talk about this. This is the Merit Solo Shadow. I got the shade Nelson, which is a really pretty shade. It's this is my first problem with it. It's hard to open. It's really hard to open. Okay, so it's interesting because it has like this, there's a click and then so like, it does that. So it like, now it's really easy to get out. And whenever you tighten it, it does it again. And I'm assuming that's like the final step in air tightness because it didn't come with a like a stopper or a plastic thing like other cream shadows I have. Now, these aren't creams, but the Victoria Beckham lid lusters have like this thing in it. And I think that's to help preserve the efficacy of the product inside. But these don't have like a plastic top thing at all. So that's a shade I bought. It's a really pretty shade. Let me tell you, I was actually surprised that this was one of the options. So I did get to pick my shade from Merit. And again, this is PR. They did send it to me. But it's a very nice gray. It's a beautiful, just slate gray. It shouldn't be a hard color to find in the beauty world, but I do think that it is. So when I saw this was one of the options, I did pick it. I want to start by talking. So there is this on the inside, and I don't know if that's like attached to the top or if I would be able to peel that out. It doesn't matter. I normally leave those things in there whenever it comes to cream products. Not that there are like a lot of different components one could come up with for a cream shadow, but like those are similar. The difference is the packaging, like the luxuriousness of the packaging. This is nice and weighted. I believe that the jar part is glass. This is not as heavy. It's bulkier though. It is like a little bit bulkier. It's not as heavy, and it isn't glass. So this is a plastic container, and it's hard to open. And that click, it's jarring to me because you know sometimes whenever you have screw on a lid and you screw it on too far, it makes that atrocious noise. So it's not quite like that atrocious noise, but it makes me worried that I've what is it called? Stripped the thread. You know, like is that what we call it when we screw in a screw and then it doesn't have the screw part? Who got me begging for thread? We're gonna do garage door eyes. I have oily eyelids, and it has been my personal experience that this creases on me. I'm also gonna say that I think it looks good. But this is a matte shadow, right? So it's not like the Rowan and it's not like the Victoria Beckham, both of which crease on me after a certain time. The Rowan ones crease on me very quickly. The Victoria Beckham, they take a few hours before they start creasing on me. I also was gifted the brush, the Merit number, I think it's called the number 1 brush. It's the brush for this. We'll talk about it in a second. But I'm just gonna apply it to the one lid. This product applies really beautifully and blends out really nicely. Like, I have no complaints about the application, but it does crease on me. And I think if you have dry eyelids, I just assume that this kind of cream eyeshadow product works better if you have dry eyelids. And it doesn't cling on to texture or anything. It is, you know, it's really nice to work with. I've used it in a couple videos off camera. So if you've watched one of my recent videos and I'm like, I'm gonna go apply something off camera, it's this. A lot of people expected it to be like an eyeshadow palette. It's just this. It is just it is this. And that was just one dip into the product and it kind of covered the whole lid. I am a big fan of this color and I'm glad I got it in this color because I think that I would have not cared if I got another color and had not felt any excitement for it. I've had this for like a couple of weeks and I will tell you this. I was much more excited to use it when I first got it than the first week I used it a lot. And then by the second week I kind of forgot I had it and then I got emails that I needed to like do my my end of the bargain for the PR. I've used this a couple of times on camera. But look at, it blends really nicely. I have no complaints. And I think that I'm not going to complain about the formula too much because just cream shadows on me, just kind of in general, not the best for the type of eyes that I have. I have enjoyed using it. And I did try it with an eyeshadow base, and I didn't find that that really helped. But that's also kind of my common experience when it comes to cream shadows, is that they work the best if that's the only layer of product. If you put more goop underneath it, I find that that doesn't really improve the longevity. Like, you know, laying down an eyeshadow base for powdered shadows works. You know, like that's, so I don't know how much these cost. I'll have to look it up. I don't know that I would pay for this. Like, I don't feel like 100% about how I feel about it, but I think that some of the takeaways should be that I kind of forgot I had it after I had it for a week, which means that it wasn't super memorable. It didn't really stick out in my brain. I guess I'm just not super excited about it. Like, I was excited to have the opportunity to try it for sure. I think if you're someone who has success with cream shadows and like this was speaking to you in some sort of way, I don't think it would be like the worst thing, but also you might want to just hear from people who genuinely typically like cream shadows to trying it. Like, it's already starting to crease on this eyelid. Okay, so I did say I do like a creasy eyelid look, and I think that if I had bought this in any other shade, I wouldn't have enjoyed it even for the week. I would have been like, it's already fading, it's already like creasing. This color eye with creasing, like that's a good thing for me. Like, I like that. I have other products that I could like achieve a creasy look with like a slate gray shade, but like this is like certainly a one and done moment. So if you are into that really creasy like lived in look, I think that this shade Nelson is a great shade to achieve that. If you're like on the hunt for that, I think that this is a great way to achieve it. But that's what it looks like. It's pretty. It's pretty. Leave it to me to buy the most extreme shade. Whenever I picked it out, I was like, I wonder how many other people who were offered this PR picked this shade. Because it feels a little too much for Merit. And I kind of like that. Like, I kind of like that Merit was like, here's something very intense. And I like it. I like the color a lot. Let's talk a little bit about the brush. It's a brush. And it works really well for the product it was designed for. I am a little bit of a brush snob. I like my Sonia G brushes. Like, I love my Sonia G brushes, and it doesn't have the same feeling of a Sonia G brush. I actually don't have any Sonia G eyeshadow brushes, but like, you know, I don't love a double-ended brush. I do appreciate that if it's designed, like if this is your only eyeshadow product, which for some people this, you know, Merit's thing is minimalism, and so like if that's what your buy-in is, and this was like the eyeshadow product that you were waiting for, but you don't have an eyeshadow brush because you just didn't mess with eyeshadow before, you know, it comes in handy because I have done graphic looks with this, avoiding my crease, and it's worked pretty well. You know, it's a good base for other things. I've thrown Ice Blink on top of this, and I thought it looked really, really good. It doesn't feel like a necessary part of this, but like, you know, double-ended brush, it's kind of small. Let me grab just like another eyeshadow brush. Like, it's small. She's petite. Yeah, she's really thin, which again is going to be a pro for some people, but a con for other people. It's a nice brush, right? And like it's like one of those things where it's like you can never have too many brushes, which I mean, I don't think I agree with that sentiment. I don't even like washing the amount of brushes I have, and I don't think I have like an excessive crazy amount of brushes. But to add a second layer onto that, like to add more to that cleanup process is just like not my thing. I'm not going to do it. So I do want to put a shimmer on here because I don't live in a world where this is where I stop with eyeshadow. And I'm going to use the Makeup by Mario Ethereal Eyes, and I want to use this shade right here in the middle. And here's why I brought this out. I had been lusting over, and this will come up in Critical Sass, so cover your ears if you don't want to be spoiled with Critical Sass knowledge, but we'll talk about it. The Natasha Denona I Need a Nude palette. I saw it and I was like, ooh, that. And then I saw on Instagram, and I'll have to go back and figure out which account held this up next to it. And I saw, oh, I already have this palette. I already have this palette because this looks a lot like the Natasha Denona I Need a Nude. And I have this. Now, I know a lot of people lust over this palette, weren't able to get it. So maybe the Natasha Denona I Need a Nude could be this palette for someone else. But I really like this palette. And I bought it last year, and you can see like some actual dips in the eyeshadows. Like that's how much I use this product. I'm just saying, like, I like this product. And so I have it, I'm gonna use it. Oh, that was like that was perfect. No notes. That's where we're gonna leave it. Nothing too difficult. I'm gonna put Ash from Victoria Beckham in the waterline. Take us to the full effect. I mean, take us all the way when it comes to just like the smoky, creasy, punk rock little eye look I have going on here. I've been using the Surratt Releve mascara quite a bit because I'm getting close to the end of the 3 months with it. And you know what's really funny is that like a couple weeks ago I decided that I absolutely love it. And so I've just been wearing it nonstop. And I also don't think that it's a perfect mascara for everyone. But like that video will be coming next week. So keep your eyes peeled for that. Critical Sass next week because we're at the end of the month. That'll be Tuesday, and we'll do a live watch party. It'll be pre-recorded, but we'll watch it together. I'll be in the chat. The Hoties in the chat. We're gonna, talk crap about some makeup. It kind of functions as an anti-haul, but we celebrate what's good too. Okay, I'm gonna spray my face, and then I don't know what lip I'm gonna wear. I don't know. I have no idea. I'm gonna take a look inside my drawer. My lips are a little bit fucked right now, so I think a gloss is probably better than like a lipstick. And I'm not even gonna do lip liner. This is Pat McGrath Love Potion. I don't know if they make this shade anymore. It is really pretty though. I have an uncurable hunger. I've eaten so much today and I'm still just so freaking hungry. Let me pull back out like the newer stuff, like stuff I haven't talked about on camera before. Okay, I don't think that everyone was trying to punk me with this. I take it back. I apologize. I really didn't think it was gonna work. I think it worked as a contour. I do think that it's peculiar in particular, and I'm confused about it, so I'll have to keep testing it. But what I will say is I'm glad I gave another Danessa Myricks product a shot because I don't like that other thing. But I like this. It's a bizarre product. I don't know. But we'll keep testing it. The Merit Solo Shadow on my oily eyelids doesn't have the best longevity. Blends really well, applies really beautifully. I think it does those two things. I think it does even like blur the skin a little bit. Like I think it looks good. I love this color. And I like that it creases on me. But I only like that it creases on me because it's this color, because I like that smudgy, that grungy look. Like I love that. Throw shimmer on top of it. Perfect smoky eye for the evening for me. I don't care if it holds up. That's not my journey. It's not my business what happens to my eye makeup when I'm out on the town. I don't care. It can do whatever it wants. Feels a little cheap. Doesn't feel like luxury packaging. I don't understand Merit's like packaging situation. Some of it feels really cool. Like this doesn't feel like the most expensive thing, but it feels like more expensive than like the Pat McGrath things that come in packaging similarly to this. The Merit Great Skin comes in a beautiful glass bottle. Then the bronzer sticks come in that cheap thing, and then this feels more like the bronzer stick. Like this feels a little cheap, you know. And I do think that if you have dexterity issues in your fingers, this will be a really hard one for you to open. I'm undecided on whether or not this is something that I'm gonna personally keep around, but like I like it well enough. I have to keep playing with it to figure out whether or not it's something that I want to keep, because this looks like Smoky Quartz from Charlotte Tilbury, which I already own. But it's pretty. I mean, I like what I like, right? A taupe. a beautiful, beautiful mind, a beautiful genius. Me. Anyway, that's that. Other things coming down the pipeline. I have to talk about this with you. I'm not ready to. Here's why. Like the Solo Shadow from Merit, I keep forgetting that I have it. I keep forgetting about it. Yikes. Not great. Thank you so much for watching. If you're new and you'd like to subscribe, I would love to have you subscribe. Make sure you like this video. I'm on Patreon. You can do that or not. No pressure. Thank you to all my current patrons. You're the best. I'll see you all on Saturday. Or if not, I'll see you, whenever you have the chance to watch the live, whenever you decide to. That ends it up for me. Go listen to Recollect on Spotify. Go listen to Recollect on Spotify. That's my last request of you. I'll leave you to go do that now. Have a great day. Remember to follow your host, and you'll find me. I'll see you in a video very soon. Bye-bye.